Welcome everybody to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend Skyler.
Hello, hello.
This week in the news, we got some updates on the next-gen consoles, a weird new patent from Sony, Overwatch got rebooted, and we got a bunch of TV show news, plus, as a little bit of bonus content, at the end we're going to talk our Spoilercast for Fallout Season 2. But Skyler, before we do all that, what's been going on with you this week?
Been a big week for television, as you said, and a big week for me watching television. I watched some shows, and I'm ready to talk about two of them. One is I finished Wonderman.
Okay.
As I mentioned that I was watching last week. And you know what? I really like it.
Oh, see, I've heard some really mixed things.
Maybe. I don't know. I quite enjoy it. I said last week that, because I had watched half of it by that point, I really enjoyed our two leads. That carries it through the whole thing. I found it very enjoyable. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's not the greatest thing Marvel's ever made, even, probably. But it's... television-wise, one of the better things they've made in a while, at least that I've watched. I'm not going to pretend that I watched Agatha all along, which I heard wasn't terrible, and other
apparently,
stuff like that.
Yeah, but, apparently Ironheart was pretty decent.
Oh, that's true. I haven't watched that either. Maybe I should. But yeah, no, I like Wonder Man. I don't know what they could or would want to do with this character going forward. I don't see him magically finding himself in like an Avengers lineup anytime soon, nor do I need that. I just, as its own little solo story, I thought it was very heartwarming, charming.
Yeah, but what team do you think he's going to be on in Doomsday, though?
He'll be watching in the theater with us.
Oh, yeah, I guess. What would you do? You look over and Yahya Abdul-Mateen's just sitting next to you, and he's like, I was Black Manta, you know?
I think I'd be like, you're the best part of that movie that I don't really remember.
Yeah. I mean... that might be true. I genuinely don't remember any scene of him acting. Like, I remember his face yelling, and that's about it.
I remember that he wanted to murder a baby.
He didn't want to murder a baby.
Whether
his dad died.
Not he successfully murdered the baby, I will leave that spoiler free for anyone who wants to venture into those movies.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that one of the most famous Aquaman stories is that time Black Manta kidnapped his kid and killed it. That's what happens in the comic. I won't spoil what happens in the movie, but...
He definitely wants to do some of that. That's true.
It's pretty unfortunate.
Anyways, other than Wonder Man,
yeah.
I also started watching A Night in the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, yeah, that's like ongoing, right?
Yeah, it's week to week. That didn't like shadow drop the whole season. In fact, I think as of today, I'm an episode behind now. I've only watched the first 3 episodes.
Oh.
I'm enjoying it. It's very, I don't want to say tonally different from Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, but it's different in the sense that the stakes as of right now are obviously much lower.
Right.
The world's not going to end. His biggest concern right now is that he's low key kind of homeless and he just wants to win a tourney.
Yeah,
that's kind of it. I mean, we're still in the Game of Thrones world, and people still suck.
Correct.
But we're not contesting with massive war or zombie apocalypse.
You're definitely right though to say that it's like different tonally. I know that maybe because you haven't like gotten all the way through the season though, but I think because the trailer I think is pitching it as like very much more a comedy, if anything. Like they want you to go in expecting it to be a less serious kind of funny thing, clearly based on how they're marketing this thing.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of...
I would say that is what it is, yeah.
It's going to be great.
And it's a little refreshing to get like a look at the same world, but I guess just the lower stakes. Yeah, it's neat. And plus I like the main guy, and the main kid is pretty good so far. I mean, as far as kid actors go, you know, it's always a roll of the dice, but he's getting it done.
He's just a little egg. What could he possibly do? What could possibly go wrong?
Egg. Who doesn't like an egg?
Hopefully it doesn't take all the King's Men to put him back together by the end of the show. Is that your week?
That's been it for me.
Pretty good. Big TV week. I've also done kind of a lot of things this week. A lot of them won't take like very long to talk about. But I had like a lot of just real things, like real life things happen this week. Not like, bad or anything, but so as you know, I collect the One Piece trading cards.
Oh, I do know this.
Yeah, and I did already tell you this, but so I long story short, I pulled the most expensive card in the current set. It's a $1,400 card as of right now, and usually like as those as new sets come out, that price goes up. So it will likely be, if it follows the trend of all the previous cards of the same type of it from previous sets, by like the end of the year, it's going to be like a $4,000 card. So
Pretty good.
I think I'm going to get it graded. And I think I might sell it because what the fuck else might it be? It's a piece of cardboard. So we'll see. We'll see. I like it, and I like having it. Each set has like a manga card where it's a reprint of a previous card, but they took out the background and replaced it with like manga panels. And it's the most expensive like chase one that you can get from any particular set. This set, it is of the character Dracul Mihawk, who's like a really cool swordsman guy who's I think like very vampire coded, although they never lean into that particularly hard, I wouldn't say. But I like him a lot as a character. And then I pulled this card and I was like, God damn, here we go, baby. So, but to balance that out karmically, I also got a really bad haircut this week.
Oh.
So, you sort of gotta balance the good with the bad. I went to a local place. Well, it's a chain. I'll put them on blast. I don't care. I went to that boardroom place. I won't say the name of the person who did the haircut because that's not nice, but the chain can get bent. And it's one of those situations where I imagine that a lot of you listening know me personally. If you don't, then I are hopefully at some point seeing the art that we've done, and you see that my hair is typically quite long. As it turns out, finding a person in the state of Texas who can cut long hair for men, not easy. And I don't know what that is. Yep. I don't know if it's just like in general, it's hard to find somebody who can cut long hairstyles for men, or if it's just like because Texas is a very like performatively masculine state that makes it harder to find a barber shop that can cut your hair in a way that isn't like, okay, what number do you want on the guard for the razor or whatever?
Yeah.
But like, hey, if I call in and I specifically ask like, hey, who do you have that can cut long hair for guys? I'm gonna be a little suspicious when you're like, it's this person, and conveniently they just happen to be working at the exact 1 hour window that you said you could come in today. Like, okay, and that should have been my red flag, and that should have been it. Long story short, she cut off like 5 extra inches of hair than I wanted to get cut off, so I'm back to like how long my hair was in high school, and I'm not thrilled about it. So I will be growing it back out, and also it's just not a good haircut. Like it's pretty uneven, and just I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, and so I kind of look like the dumbass I already am.
Luckily it's still hat season.
It's still hat season, and I will be wearing a hat catch me wearing a hat for the next 2 months. And even more balancing of karma, this is the first week at work that we have returned to office. So my job used to be not remote, a hybrid position where I went into the office 3 days a week and got to work from home 2 days of the week, Thursday, Friday, which was great. I got so much stuff done in my personal life Thursday, Friday, like because I was just at home. But to get into like actual fun things I did this week, this is a big week, I think, for just things happening in TV. One thing I know that you at least started watching is that today we had the opening ceremonies for the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know how far into it you got. Are you like mid-parade? Because I was watching it at work with like the 2:00 airing, and I assume that you were watching the one that started at 8. So I don't know how far in you got before we started doing this.
I've actually got it open right now.
Oh, he's still watching it.
It's on to the side. It's it was everyone coming out waving their flags, flag bearers, and Parade of Nations. Now there's a big speech, and I was not really paying attention while there was like the music performance thing that they were doing because I was working on something else.
Oh yeah, all the like.
I saw there was a
people
different lady doing a thing, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yay.
The big standouts of the opening ceremony. I think that people are gonna latch onto is Bocelli does a thing, and then Mariah Carey, and I guess Charlize Theron, but she just did like a speech, so I don't know that like necessarily is gonna be super exciting for people. But one of the coolest things I think is that during the Parade of Nations, Puerto Rico comes out. It's one lady, and I wish I picked up her name, but I didn't. So Puerto Rico gets to walk by themselves, even though they're part of America, because I believe that their inclusion in the Olympics predates them being part of America. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what it is. Anyway,
sure.
There's only one Puerto Rican competitor, athlete, whatever you want to call it, and she is a UNT graduate, a University of North Texas graduate.
Hey, North Texas. All right.
Yeah, so I will be, also a UNT graduate, I guess I'll be rooting for her in the skeleton, which is what she performs in, which is also, I think, one of the cool ones. So that's good. I'm glad it wasn't like I do curling or whatever. That's pretty great. I won't spoil for you, I guess, with the, what would you call it, the cauldrons, the Olympic torches, whatever look like. That's pretty cool. So you have that to look forward to in like 30 minutes here or whatever. Whenever it goes live.
Sure.
But that's really cool. And then also, we had the Grammys, the 68th Grammys.
That's right. I did not watch that, but I heard stuff happened.
There was some really cool stuff. Yeah. So the two, I think, coolest things that happened were, one that I sent you was there was a Ozzy Osbourne tribute performed by Post Malone, who I didn't know he had it like that, as backed up by Slash. So Posty is singing, and he's going hard. Yeah. I knew he was like a rapper and that he has his own music, and I knew he's good. I didn't know he had what he put out on this one. He's incredibly talented.
It was a full-blown super group because it was Post Malone, Slash, as you mentioned. The drummer was the drummer from the Chili Peppers, and I don't remember who the other guy on guitar was.
Yeah, they definitely went past all the people.
Great performance.
Right, yeah. Well, in a different Ozzy tribute, won a Grammy because there was a Youngblood did a performance of Changes in, I think, Birmingham at some point very shortly before, or very shortly after, rather, Ozzy had died. And he won the Grammy for like best live rock performance or something off of that. So a lot of Ozzy love going around this year, which we love to see.
Yep.
But if there's anything else that I would recommend you see, you specifically, Skyler, watch from the Grammys, is I would say you should try and look up the medley that they did for Best New Artist. I don't know if they've done this before, but they should do it going forward, where they have all of the nominees for Best New Artist perform their top song, like at least a chunk of it.
Are you saying that I should watch this so I can sit my white ass down and listen?
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
So I can learn who the new young artists are?
You should, but specifically, not just that, we'll get to it. There's a person in there very specifically who I think you would like to see. Yeah, I don't know if they've done this before, but they should continue doing it forever because it's so cool. Of like, here's all the hot new people doing their thing. So it was, and let me know. There's one person here who I think you might recognize by name. If not, I'll tell you who they are. But it was the Marias, Addison Rae, Cat's Eye, Leon Thomas, Alex Warren, Lola Young. I don't know why I can't say Lola. This is like the third time that I've fucked up saying her name in this week. Olivia Dean and Somber. Do you know which one of those I think you should have recognized?
I recognize the name Addison Rae.
Okay, so that's not the one, but that's cool.
Oh,
she's relatively popular.
What?
The one that I thought that I didn't necessarily think you would, but like thought there was a chance, is Leon Thomas, because Leon Thomas is Andre from Victorious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he actually won, I think, 2 Grammys because he put out an R&B album called Mutt. He's real good. He's been doing stuff in the background like this whole time. He's written music for other people, which I think is funny because that's what Andre did in the show, I'm pretty sure. So he's written like really good music for Post Malone and a bunch of other people. But I think this is his first time winning one of his own. So that's really exciting. He didn't win for Best New Artist. That went to Olivia Dean, which is absolutely deserved. She's great. But I definitely had a moment where I was watching it and I was like, is that Andre? He finally proved Victoria Justice correct, because famously in the in the time period where everyone decided to turn on Victoria Justice for reasons that I don't fully understand, there was an interview where the cast of Victorious was asked, like, who of the cast do you think is going to do great? Like, who's going to be big after this? And everyone said Ariana Grande, and they were right. And she was like, well, hold on now. Don't sleep on my boy Leon. So now she was also right, I guess.
She's catching up.
She wasn't wrong. She was just seeing further in the future. There wasn't a whole lot of like other things. Really, if you're watching the Grammys, you're watching it for the performances, because they do most of the actual awards on like basically a pre-show, and then the part that actually most people tune in for is effectively a concert with like the bigger announcements mixed in. But record of the year went to Luther from not from working with Tony Storm, but from being the album
from AEW.
Yeah, Luther from AEW. No, it's like the headline song from Kendrick's newest album.
Right, gotcha.
But album of the year went to Bad Bunny, which we love to see.
The collective seething.
Yeah,
that Bad Bunny gets any positive media representation.
Yeah.
There's a big part of our country specifically that's mad about that right now.
There was a lot of jokes at the Grammys about how contractually he wasn't allowed to perform there because he is performing at the Super Bowl. And I guess we can't perform it two things back to back or something. I don't know.
Too close window of time. He's supposed to be promoting Super Bowl, I guess. Different networks. I don't know.
Yeah. Best new artist, I said, went to Olivia Dean. That's great. Billie Eilish got Song of the Year for Wildflower. Here's a couple other ones that I think you might be interested in. Best pop duo / group performance went to Defying Gravity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, specifically Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, obviously.
Okay.
So, and that sounds like it's late, and it is, because that's from the first movie, but the Grammys are weird. Like, their timing is weird. So it's from August of 2024 to August of 2025. So there's already a bunch of new albums, even from 2025, that are not part of the consideration for this. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
It's weird how they do it, but yeah. So hey, they might win something else again next year. I don't know what the big song from the second Wicked was. I didn't see it.
Because I knew you for good, right? That's the one.
Yeah, probably.
Change for good.
I already said Youngblood got his Grammy. That was great. It was, I think, presented to the nomination was presented to him by Ozzy's family, and then they went up with him to receive it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Ozzy like endorsed him as like, not literally, but he was basically like, this is the next me, which he's not, but he's very good. It's impossible to be the next Ozzy. Like, that's not happening. Ozzy's a one of a kind kind of guy.
Of course.
Best rock song, get this, went to Trent Reznor for a song from the Tron Ares soundtrack.
Whoa, which song?
It's called As Alive as You Need Me to Be.
That's the one. That's the main one. Give me something to believe in.
Yeah, it's the one. Song. And it is a good song, but I was not expecting to see Tron Ares pop up.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, hell yeah for 9 Inch Nails and hell yeah for Ready Set Rewatch. Yay.
We're right there. We're right on the pulse.
We won a Grammy.
I thought that this was going to be the one where they gave out like the best podcast thing. Turns out that's the Golden Globes. But they made like a whole bit at the beginning where they're like, we recognize not just music, but also all of the, like, basically all forms of recorded like audio media. And so I was like, oh, is this the one that has the best podcast? It's not. But they did give one. They did give a Grammy to the Dalai Lama for an audiobook. So that counts. But we're not doing podcasts here yet. They probably will in the future. I don't know why the Golden Globes is the one doing that. It's weird to me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was going to say it couldn't possibly be here because we didn't get anything in the mail about it. We didn't get our nomination.
Well, do you know who
but
won? But
at least they recognized us. That is.
Yeah.
No.
Who won the Golden Globe for it? It was Amy Poehler for, was it Best Hangs?
That's right.
Something like that.
That's right. I did see that.
Which, I mean, good for her. Apparently, it is a good podcast. It's not like by viewership one of the top ones, but apparently a quite good one.
Well, I've seen clips, and like all it takes to have a really good podcast, not to take away from her because she's a very charming personality, but all it really takes is just like have good guests and be as real as you can.
For sure.
That seems to be what she's doing there. So that's cool.
Yeah. And then, like I said, Leon Thomas, Andre from Victorious, won Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Album for, well, performance was for Vibes Don't Lie, and then album was for Mutt, which I would recommend you listen to at least the title song of Mutt. I think you would enjoy that.
Okay.
But two other things that you'll care about, and then we're done, and then we can move on to the actual news. Best compilation soundtrack for visual media and best score soundtrack album for visual media both went to the movie Sinners.
Good.
So,
nice.
Very wordy titles of awards, and they do give out a lot of Grammys, by the way. Like just an assload of them.
Yeah.
But well deserved from what I hear. I need to watch that movie. I haven't. And then coming off your favorite things of 2025, best song for visual media went to Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Well, that only makes sense.
So
it's a good song from a good movie. Like it.
So the Grammys were pretty cool. But I guess, you know what? I'm just going to call that our first news story, because I feel like that's genuinely, the Grammys are probably bigger news than a lot of the other stuff we had this week.
Yeah. I mean, if we talk about, Golden Globes or Oscars, sure, let's throw a little Grammys love in there.
Why not? And when the Oscars come around, I'm sure we'll talk about it even more than we just talked about the Grammys.
Probably, definitely.
But hey, let's get into the news. So we got some updates on when the next gen of consoles is going to release. Skyler, do you care?
I only in the sense that it means that if I want to keep playing new releases, I have to spend a lot of money to buy a new console, which aggravates
in this
me.
case, I don't think that's going to be true, though. I think for PlayStation and Xbox, I think cross-platform is going to happen for a long time there. Or cross-generation, whatever.
Certainly hope so.
Yeah, eventually, but not. I don't think they're going to force you at launch, especially with how expensive I'm sure these things are going to end up being because of the RAM shortages.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Switch to, okay, let's get into that. Because one of them might not be that bad, but we'll see. We got completely opposite answers for when the next Xbox might happen and when the next PlayStation might happen. And I should say these are both unconfirmed, because both of the consoles are still unconfirmed. Like, they've said that they're working on next generation stuff, but they haven't been like, and our next thing is PlayStation 6, right? Even though we all know. But we have some level of confirmation from an AMD event, whatever, that they were giving to their shareholders.
Ask me anything?
Ask me anything. AMD is a company that makes like the silica for the next gen consoles. They also
makes sense.
They like make chips. They're like one behind Nvidia in terms of like making computer parts, probably.
True industry insiders, because they make what goes inside.
They were telling their shareholders that they are expecting the next Xbox to launch in 2027, so next year.
Damn.
Which is good, maybe? Because that does support some of the other claims that we had heard about it, which is that they bought a lot of their chips before the prices went up, which might stop the next Xbox from being too expensive. Although, who knows? It'll probably... it's still going to be like probably $600-$700, but it's not going to be, hopefully, the like $1,200 thing that people thought it was going to be because of how expensive RAM is right now. If anyone doesn't know, because of the AI situation, the cost of RAM has tripled in the last couple months. I bought a laptop at the end of last year for like $600. That same laptop right now is almost $1,800. That's the world we live in right now, is that these computer parts are just insanely expensive. If you were thinking, hey, I'm going to build a gaming PC for myself, not today. You better wait a couple years, because no, sir. No. And this has also caused a ripple effect through all the hardware that we knew was coming. Some of it is more surprising than others, because we have now heard that the PlayStation 6 has been delayed internally because of that. They haven't gotten to buy their chips yet. So we're now not expecting the PlayStation 6 until at least 2029. Like, they were apparently originally aiming for 2028, and now they're like, that's not going to happen. Again, just rumors. So any of this could end up not being true. The one that's more surprising is, if you remember, we talked not even that long ago about Steam having announced their own little box. Yeah. That is now also delayed.
Yeah, I do recall the Steam box.
They've now also delayed that, and their number one reason that they cite is because of the inflated cost of RAM. So
simple solution. Let's just make the RAM free.
And I agree. Set the RAM free.
Then everybody wins.
Oh man, it's an interesting situation because we had heard unsubstantiated rumors like maybe what would that have been? Maybe September-ish of last year. We had heard that Xbox was moving forward with the production of their next generation console and that they had bought 50 million of the chips needed for those consoles, which would be like basically all that they would need for the entire generation, because Xbox doesn't sell as much as PlayStation. Like they're going to sell somewhere. So Xbox One generation, the last numbers we heard of their sales of that was 58 million roughly. Right now in the current generation, they're at like 48 million. So if that turns out to be true, they've basically got all the chips that they're realistically going to need for the entire generation, meaning that theoretically the RAM prices may not affect them. They'll probably still inflate the price a little bit because they can and get away with it, but it won't necessarily be a situation where it's like crazy, through the roof insane pricing. And if they're able to launch it next year and alongside, I'm assuming, a soon to be delayed Grand Theft Auto, that could be really good for them. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting situation we find ourselves in, where it's like everything, like the pricing on all this stuff is going to be very dependent on whether or not any of this turns out to be a good idea for Xbox to even bother going early. Because if they have to put out this console and it's still like $1,000, don't bother. Just wait. Who cares? Just keep going with the current one, and then you'll push, I don't know, maybe 60 million of it by the like 2028 or 9 when you're able to put them out for like when RAM comes back down. You know what I mean? But if they are able to put out a next gen Xbox for a reasonable price, they might be able to do pretty well off that. If they are able to become like the de facto place to play Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto doesn't launch on PC. It will not come to PC for at least a year after launch. That's been their track record. So if they can be, it's obviously not going to run on Switch because the Switch can barely run current games. So if they can get out ahead of it or shortly after or something, shit, that might be really good for them. Like that, we might be looking at a 360 situation where, just like in the 360 era, they launched before PlayStation 3 and then were able to sort of take over the conversation before PlayStation could come in. But I think that might be the best idea for them. So who knows?
What's the threshold of how expensive they could make a new Xbox console before you put your foot down and say, I'm not spending that? What's your ceiling?
Me specifically, or what I think consumers would
just
pay?
You. We'll start with you and then say consumers. Knowing for a fact that the consumer answer will be lower for Xbox than it would be for PlayStation. They would give PlayStation more of a leniency.
For me, I think the top price that I would buy it at is probably like 800, but I would have to buy it, if it was that or higher, I would have to buy it like in some kind of layaway fashion, because I'm not dropping $800 in one day. You know what I mean?
How much was Series X?
Series X was roughly 5. I think it was 5, and I think it's about 6 now, because the price went up. If you remember when all the chip parts went stupid.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So I think it launched at like 5, and I think 8 is like my max. Just like trying to keep in mind like how fucked all pricing for computers is right now, and how it's basically going to be a computer.
Sure. Sure.
If they can put that thing out at like $600, that's a win. Frankly,
I was thinking 600. I would take 600. I wouldn't be happy about it.
Yeah,
but that's,
I think 600
is we don't be happy.
Yeah, genuinely, I think 600 is like pretty low. It's pretty low balling for what we've been seeing for computer prices.
Yeah, no, I fully believe that too.
Yeah, well, because the Switch 2 is like what, 550?
550 with that bundle.
Yeah.
Or going up now, presumably.
Right. Yeah. Well, in the near future, they keep being like, it's not going up yet. Vine boom. But like, so it's any day now, really. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, if the Switch, which perfectly fine piece of hardware, but definitely going to be weaker than what the next Xbox and PlayStation are going to be, if that's 500, I mean, yeah, we're looking at like probably 6, 7.
7.
I hate that I said those numbers in that way, but we're probably looking at that. That's probably our price point.
It was a Forza car driving by. That's what that was.
Oh, Yeah, I don't know. And if they can announce it this year, if they are able to go forward with this, let's presume that all these rumors are true. Which, okay, some of them are not going to end up being true, for sure. Either Xbox will not launch in 2027, or PlayStation will launch earlier than these rumors are saying. One of those two things is going to be true. There's no way that there's going to be like a 3-year lead that Xbox gets on PlayStation for next generation. That's not going to happen. Impossible.
I was going to say, I would think if we had to choose one of those two options, it would be that PlayStation comes out earlier than we would be expecting, and they just have a massive shortage of hardware to move.
Yeah.
But by the very virtue of there being a PlayStation 6 technically on the market, that will stop people from buying Xboxes so that they can buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, I don't know. So to some extent, yeah, for sure, that would definitely happen. Is people be like, oh well, now I have another option, so I'm going to buy the thing, the one that I can get. But if they can't get that for 3 years or whatever, shit, man, I don't know. It's there's some really interesting things coming up here. If it turns out that somehow Microsoft was able to like foresee RAM prices shooting through the roof, and were able to get all of the shit that they needed for next generation before those prices went up, that's a goddamn masterstroke. And I just, knowing Microsoft, I have to assume that's not true.
They're not that smart.
They're really good at fucking everything up. So I have to assume, if I have to pick which one is not going to end up being true, it's probably, I'm going to hedge on the $1 trillion company made a smart decision that one's not true. Because that has been my experience.
I think it's just a safe bet to say that no matter how this all shakes out, everybody will be equally as unhappy.
Yeah. It's, although, and we did just get that good news from last week that Microsoft got like super hard devalued by their shareholders because they want them to stop doing AI. So shit, man, I don't know. I hope all of these things end up being true, and that the next Xbox doesn't have a ton of AI and is able to come out relatively early for a decent price. That would be awesome. It's not going to happen, but it'd be cool.
No, I hope the Xbox is $900 and it spies on me while I sleep. That's what I hope.
Well, it'll probably do that second part regardless, but the $900 we'll see. Meanwhile, over in the PlayStation camp, so Sony has patented an interesting new thing, and I should say, they patent a lot of weird shit that ends up not coming to market. Like one time they patented a robot that would tell you to buy DLC for your video games. That's not a joke. I don't remember this. That's real. It was like a little stuffed animal robot that would hang out with you while you were playing video games and like help you by like telling you how to do the game, and then would tell you like, hey, you could buy this microtransaction and that would help you. Like that was part of the patent. It was crazy. Anyway, so their new one that probably will not end up coming to fruition, but here it is that they have patented making AI podcasts voiced by their video game characters.
Yeah.
Who asked? First of all, who asked? Second of all, just let the voice actors do it. You're telling me you can't get...
Someone's asking. Listen, I'm not fucking asking.
No.
But the fact that they just keep doing this, someone out there, and we have to find this person.
We have to get them.
This person who's like, that sounds like the coolest thing ever.
And we know.
Can listen to Kratos talk like he's Joe Rogan. At what point does everybody loves that word, that filthy, filthy word, content?
Yeah.
At what point do we acknowledge it's pure slop? Slop in a trough, because what are you even listening to?
What I want to know is like, what would it even be, right? Is it, hey, I'm Kratos and this is, it's Joe Rogan, but I'm Kratos or whatever, where like he's the host? Or is it like Vic Michaelis, Very Important People, you have an interviewer interviewing your video game characters? Like, what are we talking about? Which direction would it go? And if it's that second one, why not just have Christopher Judge? You could just do it and just have Christopher Judge come in and pretend to be Kratos. Yeah, he is
just
the guy.
Well, because if AI does it, then we get to make the planet like 10 degrees hotter and also not pay anybody and have the added bonus of just probably not being very good or funny.
Yeah, because famously, Christopher Judge, not funny at all. It'd be a waste of time to bring him in. We got to do the robot version. That's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
I don't know. Realistically, this won't end up becoming a thing. Like I said, they do stupid shit like this in their patents all the time. For some reason, PlayStation is like famous for that. Not that other video game companies are without their stupid ass patents. We could go on for an hour about that bullshit. But PlayStations are like dystopian in nature. so, so just wanted to throw that in there. If you see a God of War podcast, just double check real fast. Those are real people.
They're not.
No, probably not.
They're not real people.
Skyler, speaking of not real people, did you hear that they rebooted Overwatch?
Yeah, I was talking to a mutual friend of ours who I guess plays more Overwatch than I had originally thought, and
does he say that he hates it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who we're talking about.
Okay, and he was showing me all the like very generic looking new heroes that they're adding and silhouettes of upcoming announcements.
Oh, hey,
and
generic.
then well, there was a cat with a jetpack.
That's the one.
I guess that's something. And then it wasn't until later that I had to message him, and I'm like, we were talking about Overwatch. You neglected to tell me that they rebranded Overwatch 2 to just
be Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Again. So all right.
Which is probably a good idea, because Overwatch 2 already was just Overwatch and they just changed it to 2.
Yeah.
So they're just like,
that's true.
That's stupid. Let's just change it back. This has gotten people like very hype for Overwatch again in a way that I was not expecting. Feel like I haven't heard people talking about Overwatch in a long time. I feel like it's sort of been overshadowed by new hero shooter number 6 or whatever, probably Marvel Rivals this year or last year.
Marvel Rivals is the hot one, I think.
But yeah, this has definitely gotten people talking about it again. It's weird that like, yeah, the number one thing people are talking about it for is, hey, there's a cat with a fucking jetpack. But hey, if that brings people back into playing that game, I'm glad. I guess it's not going to do anything for me. I didn't play it when it was good, so I'm not going to play it now.
I've never been an Overwatch person, just because I think for me personally, games like that tend to breed a certain player base attitude that I don't gel with, and I'm
Right.
like, I'm not that hard in the paint with it, so
Right.
I'm not going to engage. But when it first started, I was like, oh, some of these heroes are cool. I like this. It'd be cool to like collect like figures of some of these guys or whatever.
Sure.
And then it just kept going, and then it just got stagnant, and then people moved on to better things. I would assume that excitement for like Overwatch is in the news again is like probably that original player base yearning to go back.
Yeah.
Which, good for you guys if this turns out to be a good thing.
Yeah, I think there's a solid chance that they do go back, assuming the content is good. Like, I don't know what else is rolling out with this. They haven't really said much. This is going to be like more seasonal updates, and there'll be like some story content alongside it. So if that's good, then yeah, I think people will come back to it to some extent, because I guess these 10 new characters are part of like a new faction. So in Overwatch lore, basically every hero was part of one or the other faction, which didn't actually matter gameplay wise. You could play as whatever character on whatever team. It wasn't like, oh, Doomfist can only be on the bad guy team or whatever. But
Horde or Alliance.
Yeah. But this one, I guess they're all part of this group called like Talon or something. So that's interesting. I guess that's the thing that I keep seeing people being like really excited for, is that it's like a bunch of new lore for the universe, and that's what people really wanted. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And yeah, like in the hero shooter space, I really think that there's not a ton of other people who have sort of come and taken that throne from them in the time. Like, it would be Valorant, but I feel like that's a very specific, very sweaty crowd. And then Marvel Rivals, and that's already starting to fall off, apparently. So I don't know. Will the people leave their Marvel waifu Gunner skins to come and get new Gunner skins for Overwatch? That's going to be what really makes the difference.
No, it's Marvel Rivals is definitely the Coomer game.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I don't play any of them to know.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it's a very fragile situation as far as who's on top. Like it could,
right.
The throne could shift back to Overwatch, or something else could come along.
Yeah.
Or finally, people will say enough with hero shooters. You know what? It's not going to be. It's not going to be that one that was announced at the Game Awards. That's not going to be
Oh,
the
High
new top
Guard.
one.
Yeah, that's out. Did you know
I'm
that's
calling
out and
that.
no one cared?
It's out. It's out.
Yeah, it's out, and it was doing so badly that they introduced. So it's a 3v3 mode on this huge empty map, and that was the number one complaint. And within like the first week, they already updated it to be a 5v5 game. Like they added that game mode, and they said it's for a limited time. Oh, yeah. But I think that was like the break in case of emergency button because I think their player base has been pretty low. But yeah, I don't know. I think, Overwatch by no stretch of the imagination was in risk of like not making money or not being like one of the bigger hero shooters. I think Cliff Bleszinski said a couple years ago that any like subgenre of multiplayer game, being like hero shooter, MOBA, whatever, has room for about 3. And I think Overwatch for the last couple years has very comfortably held down that third place position behind Valorant and Marvel Rivals. And I don't see that changing. Maybe this bumps them up above one of the other two for a while, and then maybe some third one comes in and bumps something else out. Who knows? But I think from what I've heard from people who care, this is the shot in the arm that they were hoping that it would be. So that's good news, I guess. That's cool. I just wanted to talk about the jetpack cat because I think that's crazy.
The cat.
Yeah.
There's a cat.
Well, because when I stopped paying attention to Overwatch, they had just added a hamster. And now there's a cat.
They did have a hamster. I knew about the hamster. So maybe they're like mortal enemies. They're rivals.
I mean, probably. Realistically, that would be my assumption. We have monkey. Yeah. Now we have hamster. Now we got cat. You know what I like? Disney Plus. That's right. Sign me up for the Disney Adult button because ain't nobody holding me down the way Disney Plus is. You know why? That's right. They announced that they're moving forward with an Eragon TV series.
They said we're in danger of losing exactly one subscriber, and we know his name and we have his address. What do we do to keep him?
They said, look, we really rolled in deep with Daniel being a huge fan of Percy Jackson and him coming in and watching this show that is objectively made for children and enjoying it anyway. What can we do to move that childhood goalpost slightly forward? That's right. We'll do an Eragon TV show because that also got a really bad movie that sucked shit and everyone universally hated. So if we put out a TV show and it's just kind of okay, it'll be the good one. And that's something that we can strive for.
Yeah. If the Eragon show came out and it was just as good on the exact same quality level as the Percy Jackson show, would that tickle your fancy?
I'd be thrilled, genuinely. Yeah. Okay. I think they're going to have a slightly harder time with it because like necessarily it would have to have a higher budget probably, at least from the first, well, I don't know actually. Definitely from the first season of Percy Jackson because the first season is just like basically we're going on a road trip and every so often there's a monster here. Season 2, though, there was a lot of, like, Polyphemus was there, and Skyler and Carapace. Like, there was a lot of stuff, like, they had to do actual, like, effects work for. And it didn't look too bad. I mean, they introduced that Cyclops character, Tyson, and his eye didn't look great, if you're looking at it from, like, an objective standpoint. For a TV budget, it's definitely good. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's for sure honestly, looks better than the movie version. Not saying a ton,
there you go.
But it does.
Now, what if before I say what I'm about to say, let me just double check. Yeah. Is Eragon the name of the dragon?
Eragon's the name of the boy. The dragon's name is Saphira.
Okay. Well, then I'll just keep going. But what if Disney Plus does a crossover between Eragon and Percy Jackson and they kiss? But when I said it in my mind, I was thinking Percy Jackson and the dragon, they kiss.
Hey, look, Heated Rivalry is like one of the biggest TV shows right now. We can have our boys kiss.
You know what? I need to watch that show. I've heard very gay things about it.
Look, I was watching the opening ceremony and I was like, man, if only there was a popular TV show about a winter sport I could watch right now.
It all comes together.
It all comes together. I actually looked it up. It's only like 6 episodes too, so it's like pretty fast.
We'll watch gay hockey and then we'll watch Cool Runnings.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is a news announcement for just me. The press release said, hey, Daniel, and then all the other information in it. I'm very excited for it. Do I think it'll be great? No. They're not going to put a huge budget behind this. There's no reason to. It's not going to have a huge fan base. At least not season 1. Maybe if season 1 like ends up being great, like the One Piece show or something, then they can justify having a higher budget in season 2 or something. I don't know how they would break it down because I also feel like the Eragon books have so much more shit happening in them than the Percy Jackson books. So I don't think you could do like a season a book. You know what I mean? I don't think that would work out great. Unless it was like a properly long TV series, like a 20 episode series, but that's not going to be the case. We all know it's going to be 8 episodes. So I guess we'll see what they do with it. I'm pretty excited about it. I want to know, there shouldn't be too many effects. Like there's magic that happens in the early stages of the books. Not until later do they start introducing like proper monsters and a lot of crazy stuff. So if it's just book 1, all that they need to nail is making a dragon look good. That's all they got to do. And then I'm happy.
You could do that.
And I'm happy. And there's the bad guys who are like ram-headed orc types, right?
Uh-huh.
There's not a ton of them in the first book, so we can be kind of sparing with them. And to be better than the movies, all we have to do is not, for some reason, just make them black people.
Oh, okay. I've never seen the film.
Yep.
I didn't know that was...
The movie said, I can't make an orc, but I can grab a black guy off the street. That'll be the same thing, right?
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
And everyone said, no.
I'm gonna go on record and say no, it's not right.
No, it was very upsetting.
On multiple facets, it's not right.
Yeah, it's very upsetting. But hey, the showrunners are the Todds. We got Todd Harthen from High Potential, which I don't really know, and Todd Helbing from Superman and Lois, which is a good show. So I don't know. I feel positive towards it, but I've been let down before.
Oh yeah, but that just means that being let down here won't hurt as bad because we're used to it.
You don't know that. You don't know what it's going to feel like. Hey, speaking of TV shows that probably won't be good, but could be. They also announced a Baldur's Gate TV show.
Oh, did they? I didn't even see this.
Yeah, it was like yesterday. So it's I believe over at HBO. It is being headed by Craig Mazin, who is the showrunner from The Last of Us. And the only other piece of information that we really have about it is that it will take place after Baldur's Gate 3, which doesn't really mean anything because it's the D&D universe. It's going to be its own story anyway. Like, I wouldn't expect for it to be like a sequel to Baldur's Gate 3. For like, cameo purposes, I could foresee one of the companions or something showing up in the show, like your Astarion showing up and being like, remember me? I was the gay vampire guy that everyone wanted to kiss. And you'll be like, yeah, that's great. Hi, Astarion.
But will they dare be brave enough to say whether or not that character canonically lived throughout the game you played?
It'll be tough. But I think if there was one they were going to say would live, it would probably be Astarion. It would unfortunately the most popular character
that everyone wanted a heated rivalry with. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And you can get their heated rivalries out in that game. There's no censorship on that one.
Ooh. Unless you play it on Switch 2, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. It came to Switch. It probably should at some point, but I don't know. Anyway, the only other piece of information that we have is that it has no involvement from the team at Larian Studios who made Baldur's Gate 3, which I guess does make sense to some extent because they're don't own that.
They're busy making big dead people in a tree game.
Right. They're making AI-powered dead guy in a tree game. And also, they don't own Baldur's Gate. They don't own that franchise. So if you were partnering with somebody, it would have to be the one that owns it because you have to get the rights to use it.
That would make sense.
And I think Larian and Wizards are not on the best of terms right now, so I don't know that you could work with both. But hey, the Baldur's Gate side of it notwithstanding, I'm interested in watching a Dungeons and Dragons show. Why not?
Sure. I really liked the movie. I think a lot of people who watched the movie liked the movie, the most recent movie, not the year 2000 movie. We don't talk about that one. But obviously it underperformed. We're not going to get more movies, so if we can get shows, let's go for it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the interesting thing about D&D is it's such a wide open thing, a wide open IP that like they're saying like we're gonna make this Baldur's Gate show or this D&D show or like that just means you're making a fantasy movie. It could mean anything past that.
It means we're making a fantasy television series and we want to staple the name of the thing that you know onto it so that it makes more money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's all.
I would say that them going out of their way to call it Baldur's Gate probably means that there's a higher chance that they'll throw in some characters from the game in it, like fan favorites maybe, or I don't know. Not like as starring roles, I wouldn't assume, but as cameos.
No, cameos for sure.
They should make a Curse of Strahd show.
I'm telling you. They said in Stranger, like when Stranger Things was coming out, they were like, "There's a tease in the thing in the last episode for what the next show is going to be about, and if it is, we're doing Stranger Things, but this time it's vampires." Ooh mama, hachi machi.
Yeah, D&D TV. Cool. Let's do it. Sure. Why not?
So to complete the transition from shows I care about to shows you care about, where we went, Eragon is just for me, D&D's for both of us. Mm-hmm. Now this one's, I think, pretty much just for you. A24 has acquired the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they're apparently making a TV show about it. It's supposed to be produced by J.T. Malner and Glenn Powell, and I don't know if it's that Glenn Powell, but it probably is.
I think that is that Glenn Powell because he is from Texas. He's a big Texas boy.
Yeah, and we love him. Remember that time that he was caught in the rain in Twister? That was great. We all love that.
Lest we forget that I did, in fact, watch Chad Powers. So yes, we love Glenn Powell.
I forgot you watched that.
If we're willing to watch Chad Powers, then we'll go.
Don't say we. Don't throw my name in there. Don't drag me down with you.
The show is Unity, so I am saying for the both of us that we support Chad Powers.
Okay.
He drives a Cybertruck in that show.
Oh, and I'm back out. And for that, and I'm out again. Do you think that Texas Chainsaw lends itself to a TV show as opposed to a movie? Do you think that like makes sense for that?
Well, so I have seen a lot of Texas Chainsaw movies.
Sure. How many are there? Like 10?
I've not seen them all. I think Abrar's actually seen the ones I haven't seen.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Friend of the show, Abrar. Let me tell you, sometimes, every once in a while, Texas Chainsaw doesn't even lend itself to a movie. There's some real fucking bad movies out there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But there is a potential in the I'm gonna say one of those words again.
Uh-oh.
In the lore of the Texas Chainsaw universe. You could do something interesting. You could get in there. It's not impossible. I don't know if I would have asked for a show. I would have asked for a good movie, but
right.
You know what? It is what it is.
Let me pitch this to you. Okay. All right. Here's the show. Main characters are cops, and they're going around to different. I've never seen a single Texas Chainsaw. That's so just to set the stage. And they're going around to various different places where teens usually have sex, and just finding constant crime scenes of them being killed. And the whole thing is just a detective show about them trying to catch the Texas Chainsaw Killer. Is that the show? Is that what we're doing? We're at a drive-in movie theater. We're at a summer camp. We're at, I don't know.
And let's have it all, the entire show, how many episodes? Probably 8 episodes.
Yeah, let's
be real.
Yeah. Well, it's HBO.
Because we don't do more than like 6 to 8 episodes anymore.
Right. Well, but this one's got to be like very low budget compared to what HBO's used to, right? Or no, wait, do we know it's HBO? Or am I making that up? It's A24. We have no idea where this is going to be. Where does A24 usually go?
Hold on. No. I think A24 movies do normally go to HBO Max. I think that is true.
Okay. So I didn't make this up entirely.
They have strange like distribution timeline where like if a movie goes to theaters and then you're waiting for it to go to streaming, it may be a fucking while. But it normally does. It will eventually show up. I'm pretty sure it's HBO Max.
Yeah. Well, you would definitely know better than me. But yeah, I mean, theoretically, this wouldn't have to be a very high budget show. It's a guy in a mask with a chainsaw. We don't have to make a dragon.
The joke I was making was make all, we'll say 6 episodes of the show just entirely one shot, all interconnected, and we never cut away from him just walking through the woods.
Oh, don't do this to me. I already saw this movie once. I don't want to see it again.
The film is called In a Violent Nature. Go check it out on wherever it's streaming.
It may be my least favorite movie. That's not fair. There's movies that are like actually bad, and that one's just nothing. The movie.
There was a scene where a girl gets murdered in that one.
Right.
That is so like cartoonishly violent that I basically burst out laughing in a crowded theater.
It comes out of nowhere too, because it's like this guy's trying to get revenge for some shit, and the girl who he does the worst kill to is that one, and she had nothing to do with it. No. She was just there. No.
And she had the same name as my dog.
That's really unfortunate, and we hate all of that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What a crazy film that was.
I liked it.
I knew you did. It's 100% your movie.
Yeah, no. Texas Chainsaw. Uh, you know what? Here's my hot take.
Yeah.
You out there at 824, make this good or don't make it at all. All right, there's my deal with you.
You know what? I'd like to double down on that to every project. Make it good,
Everything ever.
just don't do it.
No, you know what? Here's the trade-off. You
Yeah.
guys can make the Eragon show bad.
No, hey, well,
We'll
hey,
let
whoa,
that one
hey,
slide.
whoa,
We'll let that one
whoa.
slide. Make everything else good, just that one.
I don't co-sign this, and you know what? And I don't co-sign Chad Powers anymore. I'm taking it back.
It's out of his control.
I'm taking
it's
it back.
out of his hands. We've already co-signed Chad Powers. He's friend of the show now.
Hey, if you can get Glenn Powell on the show, I'm for it.
Not Glenn. Chad Powers.
Just Chad. Okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
accept that.
Completely in character.
Hey everybody, this is the time of the show where we're gonna jump on into our spoiler cast for Fallout Season 2. If you don't want to hear that, I apologize. Just come back after you finish watching the show, or if you don't care, just listen to it anyway. Why not? But this is your last warning. Skyler, what'd you think about Fallout Season 2?
What did I think about Fallout Season 2? I think, overall, I'm going to give it a big thumbs up. Just like the Vault Boy. Big Vault Boy thumbs up. I think we're in the exact same place at the end of this season that we were in the last season, not in terms of like the in-universe lore, but like with the fan base, where a lot of people had a lot of fun with this. Or like, oh, that's cool. And then there's just a whole bunch of quote-unquote true Fallout fans that are really pissed off about certain lore choices or ignoring certain lore from past games or the disrespect shown to one faction or the other, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Dude.
A lot of Caesar's Legion apologists.
Man, a lot. And don't even get me started on the House Dick Riders, but other than the fan base being annoying and embarrassing, I think this show is so much fun.
It's really good.
I do keep seeing people say that this is probably the best live-action video game adaptation. I'm currently, maybe recency bias, I'm inclined to agree.
It's got to be up there. I would say...
I mean, I know that people like The Last of Us show until they didn't.
Right, Last of Us Season 1 would be up there for sure. I don't know. There has been a lot, and I do feel like probably the ones that people would be like, this is actually the best one, is one that you wouldn't even think of. Like, it's some thing that's like barely a video game. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a couple like ones that sort of skirt in that way.
Uwe Boll's Red Sonja.
Red Sonja. Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, like off the top of my head, no, there's really not a ton of like great video game adaptations. So this it has to be top 5, minimally.
Oh, sure. I think top 5 is easy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge fan of this show. I think it's really good. It is a little bit the tone of like what it is compared to what a Fallout game is. I think it's just like one turn a little too far to the comedy side, but
sure,
I'm also okay with that. Like that doesn't bother me at all. But that is the number one thing that I notice about it in terms of like inconsistency from the game is I'm like, I don't know that the game's ever like this goofy.
Well,
like a guy, I mean, like when Thaddeus's arm falls off and he's like, that's probably, I'm like, all right. I'm like, that's funny.
I love that bit.
Yeah.
I love that bit, to be honest. No, I think the series as its whole, like not the show, but like the video game series, game to game, it's kind of inconsistent comedy wise. Like Fallout 1 is very straightforward, dour.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all that satire like laced throughout, of course, but then you get to Fallout 2 and there's like talking mole rats and silliness, right. And
we throw in like
time travel
eventually. Yeah.
So this one does, if you compare like tone or comedy, I guess, in the games, if you compare like Fallout 4 to even Fallout 3 or New Vegas, 3 and New Vegas are less comedic. They don't have the sarcasm button that every dialogue option has in 4.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I think it's a little bit more serious, because I don't hit the fucking sarcasm button.
Yeah, that's true. Don't do that. This one it is goofy, but I think it just fits what they're doing as like
Yeah.
the vibe of this pocket of the world that they're like. Not every aspect needs to be the most serious thing to
No, for
me.
sure. Absolutely. No, no, no. And I don't. I wouldn't even make it like like a very serious thing. There's a handful of
Sure.
things that I might have them take slightly more seriously, but it's fine. Like I have no problem with the way that they've decided to tone this out. I actually think making it slightly more of a comedic show helps it
Mhm.
stand out more. So I think they've made
Yeah.
they've made the right choices. Clearly, I mean the show is extremely popular. It has like I think
Yeah.
season 2 has like a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes or some shit. Like it's doing very well.
That's pretty good.
So honestly, if I had one actual complaint, it's can we please turn Lucy's finger back the normal color?
Man,
Can we please?
so I was thinking about this her finger. She does not like her
She
finger.
calls it the poopy
She
finger.
I've also seen this clip
Yeah.
where she says she's like going around supermarkets right after like shoot days and her finger's still like poo colored and people stare at her as she touches things in the supermarket. She's like, I promise it's not poo. But yeah, it got worse, man. Like and
Yeah.
I don't mean like makeup or whatever. I
No, it
mean
doesn't.
like
Yeah.
in universe, her finger is festering, and someone needs to pay medical attention to it. I'm worried
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah. I honestly, if in season 3 it's just a normal skin color again and we just don't talk about it, I'm fine with that. I don't need it to be justified. I don't need
There's
that.
that there's that shot at the end where like I think she holds hands with Maximus or something, and
Right.
like or they hug, and you can see the nail is like yellow.
The poopy
You're like,
finger.
no,
Yeah.
please.
Ugh. Yeah. Okay. So there a lot of big things coming out of this. The number one thing I see people complaining about in terms of like the people you're talking about, the like quote unquote real fans, is that
Mhm.
they are trying to figure out which ending of New Vegas is canon.
That's
And
been the biggest argument by
and no
far.
one can decide. And I think I have nailed it. I think I know exactly which ending it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Before we get into that, because yes, as a fan who's played the game, there is obviously a part of me that is like, ooh, which ending do they think really happened? The answer actually is they refuse to say because
Right.
they don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Exactly. And because also, who
And
cares?
yeah, it doesn't matter.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
fucking matter.
really actually affect the story that
The
they're telling,
no,
so it's fine.
the end of the game dictates who takes over the strip and who wins the Battle of Hoover Dam. They never mentioned the Battle of Hoover Dam once, and the strip is now run by Deathclaws. So whoever had it doesn't anymore.
Uh, that's true. And since we're already in spoilers, we'll say that the Death Claws, people were like wondering all season since we saw the Death Claws there. People were like, why the fuck are the Death Claws and how did that happen? And we are told at the end of the season that it is the big bad villains of most of Fallout at this point, the Enclave,
I had a
uh,
question about that for you
turned them
specifically.
loose. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, a couple of things. Number one, okay, Fallout 3, we know that one of the things the Enclave is doing is they're like trying to brain control creatures, right? So maybe they were able to do that
Yeah.
with the Death Claws, and maybe that's how they got them there. I'm throwing that out there. That's not my question. I'm just like, could happen. That fits in the lore a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm a little confused with how they're tied in with Vault Tech now. That's interesting to me. We'll have to see where that goes. But
Yeah,
here's what I
I
want to
don't
know.
think they strictly are, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
It's there's something going on there. But looking at you, Steph. But Enclave did the thing, put the Death Claws in the place. Did our boy Arcade put some fucking Death Claws in the fucking? Because we only
Ooh,
know a couple of Enclave guys in New Vegas, and I thought we were cool with them.
that's true. Yeah, so they are the remnants. They're all retired old people, and then the son of one who is our companion, Arcade.
Right. Zachary Levi,
They were
famous scab.
yeah. So Arcade, famous scab. Arcade was never like I don't remember him ever being like super pro what the Enclave was about. It's just
No.
the environment he was raised in, and then that's why he joined the Followers of the Apocalypse. The good outcome for all of Vegas was always what he cared about most. So I'm gonna rule out Arcade as being part of that at all. Plus, granted,
Okay.
this
Okay.
was New Vegas is 15 years before season 2.
Right. I mean, 15 years not like
So
a super long time.
No. So he
He's
but
kicking it
also like it's
somewhere.
important to say because all the other old people, all the other remnants, they're they survive in 15 years after that.
Hard to say.
They live
I
in
don't
that long.
imagine people live very long in the apocalypse.
Especially not if they're eating flea soup.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
so that's
but yeah,
great.
no, going back to the canonicity of the endings,
I
if
know
that's
which
a
one's
word. I think I
canon.
just made it up.
I've nailed it.
Um,
I'm 100% confident.
before you say which one you believe is canon, what is what before this would you have said was your canon ending while playing the game?
The NCR option, probably. I think you if you're picking between all the options, the only good ones are either Free New Vegas or the NCR. And I know the NCR like has their
Yeah,
problems, but I also feel like that provides more protection for them than Free New Vegas. I feel for
that is
me,
true.
I feel like Free New Vegas is is like a we're just waiting for somebody else to come, or Deathclaws, I guess, to come in and take over. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
we're putting it
Um,
at bay. Either of those would be fine, but I generally go NCR.
yeah. Obviously, there's no chance in hell that the Legion ending is canon.
No,
And if people want that, they're insane. They're like
Caesar's.
genuinely maybe evil people.
I mean, Caesar's dead in the show, so
Yeah, but he does
he
he
could.
does
It's true.
die
He could have died of cancer.
in the game. He has that brain tumor, and even if like you help whatever, I'm not gonna pretend I remember extensively the Caesars playthrough, but even if you like you help heal him, he's still going to die of that sickness either way. So yeah, I'm gonna rule out Caesar because who the fuck wants that? The real people that are making a big stink are the Mr. House
Yeah,
fanboys.
the house always wins, baby. Which, and I will say,
He's evil though.
I do want to throw this out there. I love Mr. House in this season. I think he's really good.
Oh,
I think he's so
absolutely.
much fun.
Oh God, what's his name? The actor
Has
Justin Theroux.
oh
Justin Theroux, who is in a bunch of stuff. You may remember him from. I'm gonna choose this just to be an asshole.
okay.
From such hit films as Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Who was he in Last Jedi?
He's the Master Code Breaker, Daniel. Remember when they go
Oh,
to
the
Canto
actual
Bight
one. Yeah.
to,
Okay.
to meet the Master Code Breaker,
Right, and then we pick
and
up.
they
Yeah.
then they get arrested and never see him again. That's Mister. No, he's in a lot of stuff.
Wow.
He's good. I think he does he does like a lot of screenwriting too, or at least he used to.
He does look
I don't
familiar.
remember.
I couldn't have placed him, but he does look familiar.
He was a writer on Iron Man 2.
Wow.
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he's Mr. House is great in this. He's a great villain in Fallout in general. Even if he's like villain, if you consider that too strong a word, he's very morally gray. But if you look at some of the things he does in this show, and a lot of the things he's done in the game, dude's fucking evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I'm
100%.
not
He
I'm not giving him the strip.
No, like they're dancing around it a little bit in the show as well of being like of him being like I don't know, the honorable guy a little bit to an like they're trying I think they're trying to play that card a little bit of him being like, well, I'm not as bad as the Enclave. I'm not as bad as these guys. I'm not as bad as that. Like the house always wins. I'm just looking out for number 1 or whatever. Like
Yeah.
okay, like and I get that. I do. Cuz yeah, he's not the most evil person in the wasteland. There's people doing like slavery and shit and eating people. But he's not a good guy. Like he's objectively bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, so we'll finally reveal what you have cracked the code, the master code,
Yeah.
on being the canon ending of Fallout New Vegas. Right after I tell you that my go-to ending when playing New Vegas is the free New Vegas.
Free New Vegas is good.
But I always, there's that bit where you tell the NCR to fuck off right at the end, and then you can throw the general off the dam. I don't do that. I
No,
like
it's
to imagine
hurtful,
just like
rude.
like NCR, you cannot have the strip, you cannot have Vegas, but you could very much still work here. It's just an
Yeah.
under new management type situation. Even though the odds are very, very, very high that the courier, right after the battle of the Hoover Dam, just fucks off to Big Mountain.
Right.
and
I think
and
that's
lives there
I
probably.
think that's pretty much canon, right? Yeah, man. I do think, and that's not what I think the like canon ending of the show is, and it's don't worry about that. But I do think
Ooh.
like if there's one that has the most hints of it being the right one, the one that was chosen to be canon of the existing endings,
Yeah.
that it's probably that one because the only thing that we really see on the strip or that we hear on the strip, I guess I should say, is the NCR used to be there. People do mention that at one point. And then they
Yes.
also mention it like you see a bunch of not a bunch. You see a couple of dead Securitrons, which there's already a couple
Yeah.
there at the beginning of the game. So you could argue like, oh, those are just the guys who are always there. Hard to say.
Yeah.
Impossible to say, really. Which is why I believe, and I actually don't believe, I know for a fact that the canon ending of Fallout New Vegas is that you just never finished the game.
Ooh.
You just never did the Battle of Hoover Dam, and it just stayed at a stalemate until Caesar
Ooh.
died of cancer and the NCR got kind of their ass beat by all the other shit in the area. Enclave moved in some Deathclaws. I genuinely, because you can't play after the game.
Yeah.
Once you finish the Battle of
Yeah.
Hoover Dam, you can't continue playing in the Wasteland. So it's I do sort of see it as like I bet if you boot up your save file, anybody's save file, it's before the Battle of Hoover Dam.
Mm. Yeah. So the
So it never
second
happened.
battle was all a dream. It's not real.
Yeah, Battle of Hoover
We
Dam
never
didn't happen.
did it. We were too busy trying to find Veronica address.
Right. The important things.
You know what? I like what you're cooking here
There we
because it
go.
is a true subversion. It's a true twist. It's a twist in a way that makes me like feel like this nervousness in the pit of my stomach of
Just never happened.
like I left the stove on, like oh no, that can't be true.
No, it's definitely true.
But
That's what happened. The courier got distracted by the DLCs and never went to the Battle of Hoover Dam.
that's entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
He was like, I went to the Divide. There was a lot of shit going on there. I'm kind of done. I'm retired, actually.
Fair enough. Or maybe he died.
Or maybe he died. Maybe he died. They certainly want to imply, or want you to imply, that the NCR power armor suit had belonged to the courier, despite the fact that that does not exist in the video game.
No.
That seems to be what they want you to think when Walton Goggins takes the thing off it and he's like, you got to rig the game from the start or whatever he said. Like that's what a lot of people are leaning into. But I also don't he's not talking about the courier. We have no proof that he
No.
was talking about the courier. We know he knows Mr. House.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about Mr. House.
I didn't get the impression while watching that he was talking about the courier or that the armor belonged to the courier. I didn't assume that, nor did I assume because I saw multiple people also saying that the NCR Ranger that does the big slow time bullet shoot from the game intro,
Right.
people were like, "That's the courier." And
That's
I'm
the
like, "No,
courier.
that's
That's
just a
not the
guy.
courier. That's for sure just a guy.
That's just a guy."
That's just a cool. That's a cameo of that same guy from the trailer.
Yeah, it's the same guy
It's
from
the
the
same
trailer.
guy from the trailer. That's my bit. The guy who shot that random raider or whatever.
I believe that's canon. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm willing to accept that. Either that or the guy who ends up in brain jail. He's the NCR Ranger that took the shot at the trailer.
hmm
Yeah. Which, by the way,
Um.
how do we feel about Papa sending out his like last little bit of him being like, I sent out a bunch of people with brain worms, and now the Enclave or whoever, Vault-Tec, whoever is going to be able to have agents in the field somewhere or whatever. How do you feel about that? Because I'm not
Man,
sure. Because what
let
I
me tell
don't
you.
want it to be, if they do a reveal in season 3 of like one of our beloved characters that we've met for the first 2 seasons was actually a worm the whole time, I'll be actually a little pissed. I think that sucks.
Oh yeah, you can't do that to.
If they're like, oh hey, like if Maximus like scratches his neck and we see a scar in the beginning of the next season, I'll kill him, man.
Yeah, that would be a massive bummer because that'll derail Maximus's story, which I really liked in this season. Um,
I was afraid it was going to be that they were going to like almost immediately reveal that it was the ghoul. that he was one of them once
That
they had
he
the thing in there.
somehow has a thing.
Because he said it and then they cut to him getting arrested, and I was afraid that they were going to be like, we stuck one in him when he was a human still.
Oh,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't have had it done by then, right?
Well, I think they
They
had it,
wouldn't
but it just
had
wouldn't have
the
been small or something, or maybe they would have been
tiny
like,
technology.
yeah, but you know how writing goes in this shit. They just be like, oh, we got one working prototype and we're gonna stick it in the fucking vault guy or whatever.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
so
We accidentally do one tiny plot hole, and then the whole thing, the House of Cards falls in, and it's Bethesda slop all over again.
there it is. This is all Todd Howard's fault somehow.
Yep. This fucking Yeah, no, the going forward plot of the there being enclave sleeper agents out there, I initially got kind of excited for, because I was thinking one of two things. Either A, that's season 3, which is probably that's our greatest likelihood.
Yeah,
Or B, that could be something we deal with in Fallout 5.
I
Not that I'm
see.
expecting a Fallout 5 announcement anytime soon,
No,
like a lot of people were
no.
uh, leading up to. Let's talk about Bethesda's big no-no.
Oh no.
Let's talk about
What have we done?
how they poopied their pants in front of everybody.
What?
If you don't have anything to talk about, if you don't have big news, don't post a mysterious countdown on your website.
Oh yeah, I didn't even look at what that ended up being. Like I fully expected that to be nothing because of
Well, yeah,
the
no,
way I
yeah.
am. But
Yes,
what was it?
And you were right. So before I say what it was, my take on it was like, there's no way that we can or should get our hopes up for this to be anything. At the most, maybe this is counting down to a reveal of the New Vegas remake, right?
Oh, I think that's
We
already.
know that's coming.
I think that's already too high.
Yeah. It's at setting the bar too high. Yes, but like at the very most, that's what you should be saying. Not like, oh, they're gonna shadow drop Fallout 5 when season 2 ends. That's insane.
I know somebody online was saying that, and I guarantee
100% they were.
Yeah,
100% they were.
even though we know full well that they're working on Elder Scrolls.
Season 2 wrapped, and it was I think it was like a virtual tour of one of the sets, like the Lucky 38 set or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, that's a yeah.
But here's the thing about that. Why would you put a countdown timer? I'm not mad that you unveiled nothing.
Sure, yeah.
I
would be a little bit if I wasn't used to it.
I'm wondering, like I'm scolding a dog.
Yeah. Why did you do that?
Realize that nobody would be angry if you didn't do that.
Yeah, you did that to yourself. To be honest, I haven't seen too many people upset about it online, so maybe a lot of people didn't know it was even happening.
It's like, yeah, 80%, maybe 90% of the general populace, even like normal gamers. Ooh, what a dirty word. Yeah, wouldn't be talking. I think this was just like deep Reddit shit that I accidentally stumbled upon.
Sure.
But if we want to talk about more outrage real quick,
yeah.
let's go back to
before you get back into that. When I saw that was a thing, my assumption was like, oh, they're gonna say like it's a countdown to the release date of season 3. Like they're gonna say when the release date of season 3 is. But that would have
been good.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. But
like season 3 coming next year. We filmed it back to back. Like, whoa, awesome, cool.
Right. And I think they either are already or about to start filming season 3. I remember seeing a thing recently.
Yeah, I want to say I saw today that they're planning to start filming season 3 in May.
Right. Okay. So it's like
that is right around the corner. So
yeah.
like we could probably assume that we'll get season 3 either late next year or maybe like this time
next year.
The like year after.
I would expect it before 2028.
This year it dropped, or not this year. 2025. Season 2 started like December 2025, right? Or like right after Thanksgiving, right? So yeah, around that time period, 2026 wouldn't be too far fetched, but maybe I'm saying at the furthest back it could be is like 2027,
right?
Ish, yeah.
We are going a little long here. There's a couple other things of it that I really want to touch on. Do you want to say whatever you were going to say about the power armor real fast?
Oh, just that everybody thought it was super cool, and then Bethesda released it in Fallout
Oh, and
76 and
76.
said, "Please pay $30 for
Please
it."
give me money for it. $30 is crazy.
$30.
$30 is
I mean,
crazy.
granted, it wasn't the only thing in that pack. I guess
Oh,
there was like a couple of other things, like,
yeah, they do be doing that shit.
uh, but no, that's insane. So
Can we
a
talk
modder
about
made it in 4 for free.
also how stupid it is? So we got Game Pass, and we get a bunch of perks through Game Pass, where like they added Fortnite Crew to it, where you get Fortnite Crew just for having Game Pass Ultimate now.
Yeah.
Why have they not added the like Fallout First thing into Game Pass, where you just get your atoms every month and you get your own private servers in Fallout 76? Why is that not just rolled into Game Pass at this point?
They've probably crunched the numbers and decided they don't need to, because whoever pays for it will just, they'll already pay for it separately. Like,
Yeah,
they're not losing any money by not
that's
having
fair.
it.
I think that they should do a thing where it's like an a la carte sort of situation where you go in and you're like, okay, I want Game Pass, and then you know how when you were signing up for like cable, you'd be like, and I also want these
Yeah.
four things, and then you've got the option of like Fortnite Crew, Ubisoft, whatever, Ubisoft Plus, EA Plus, uh, maybe a WoW subscription, Fallout First, whatever. And that
100%
way,
agree.
people don't have to pay the extra money for Fortnite Crew if they don't want Fortnite Crew.
100% agree.
Yeah, I think that they should do that. Hey, Phil Spencer, get on that shit. A couple of things that I do want to talk about real quick on this show, because I think that there's some important things that we need to touch on. Hey, there was a super mutant in this season, and we didn't really even do anything. He doesn't appear to be much of a character going forward. Walton Goggins fucked off to Colorado, so
he might
that
be.
super mutant's still in the strip somewhere, presumably.
Well,
Or
somewhere in the Vegas area.
Yeah, not the strip.
He was played by Ron Perlman.
And we love that.
So that was our Ron.
We got Ron Perlman
cameo
and Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown is the president of the United States.
Was that John Henry Eden? It would have had to be, right?
No, they had a different president before. Like in Fallout 2, they had President Richard. I guarantee you, whatever his president's name was, Clancy Brown's character, like already has like an established name in lore. I just don't know what.
I guarantee it. Yeah. Well,
But
because
Eden was
I
just
thought
some bullshit they made up.
right.
War,
Well, I knew he
sure.
was spoilers for Fallout 3. I guess I knew he was a AI robot boy, but I thought that they were trying to trick people into saying that he had like survived the war or some shit. I thought that was the same name as the president. Not that they were like new president John Henry Eden.
I don't remember if that's the case.
Couldn't tell you. I haven't played that game in a while. But you would definitely know better than me because you play that shit like every year. So this my shit.
I don't listen to what they say because they're
fair.
evil.
Yeah, get him out of here. So that's pretty cool. I think the effect on him looked really good, like surprisingly good, and I look forward to hopefully seeing him or other super mutants and or Nightkin in the near future.
We're definitely gonna have payoff to that in presumably. See, I don't know how far their intentions are to take this as far as seasons go. Do they
Honestly
wrap it after 3 seasons? Do they
No.
go to 4 or 5 seasons? Because that would dictate where we bring super mutants back in. But his whole thing of him being like, "You're gonna need some friends," and even though Walton Goggins was like, "No," well, we're gonna get guys coming back.
For sure. Yeah. I think that we're looking at a season 3 where, much like this season, Maximus spent most of the season by himself. That's just the ghouls off in Colorado doing Colorado shit. And then
Speaking
Maximus
of Colorado,
and Lucy are going to be over here.
Congratulations to like the 5 or 6 fans of Fallout Tactics out there. Y'all stay winning.
Y'all stay winning, Fallout Tactics fans. Isn't that where the Legion's from or something? Didn't they come through there?
Yeah, they're from. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see some Legion shit over there. I don't.
Has to be.
I don't know. I mean, Caesar's in the quote unquote Caesar is in the strip, so I don't know. Also, hey, Macaulay Culkin is Caesar.
Congrats, Mac. You become Caesar. Couldn't be happier for you.
Yeah. R.I.P. his mom.
He had to eat that paper. Yeah. R.I.P.
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara,
Actually,
legend, very funny lady. He had to eat that piece of paper that had just been on
a corpse,
Caesar's festering corpse for probably like months, if not maybe years.
It could have been the full 15 years for all I know.
So he's gonna get some sort of like hardcore wasteland dysentery,
Yeah,
and the new Kaisar is just gonna keel over and
he's
die.
g- he's gonna get the same brain tumor. It was wrapped up in the in the paper. That's pretty cool. Okay, biggest surprise hit of the season for me. Let's talk
Yeah.
about Steph.
Yeah.
I love Steph. I think I don't the several twists with her that are just absolutely stunning. Number one, Canadian. Oh my god, the way that they pull the she's Canadian thing on the same level that they would like she's a Russian spy or something.
Yeah. She's Canadian.
So
That's
great.
what yeah. they they will draw the line at her being Canadian, even though they were willing to let it slide when he said she probably killed Woody.
Yeah. Well, they were like, "That's impossible." What'd you do with the glasses? I put them back in the garbage disposal, and she's like smirking about it.
Ooh,
Um,
evil.
I love her. I think she's one of the better
Yeah,
actresses in the show, to be honest.
she's
Um,
fantastic. The way so kind of late in the game of the season that they threw her backstory in and just kind of fleshed her out, and we get this whole scope of now we know that she's technically in the Enclave, although
sort
she
of
probably doesn't give a shit about the
does
Enclave
not. No,
because
she's looking out for
she,
number one.
yeah, which is just her. She just like triggered whatever Enclave stuff she needed to because she's a rat in a trap at this point.
Yeah, it. She's great. I love that so much. I think it's so they couldn't have possibly known. They could not have possibly known when they started making this season how relevant it was going to be
Mm,
to have a predominant Canadian character in the show, in the Fallout universe, in which Canada is called the Big 5-1 because it has become the 51st state of America because it has
mm-hmm,
just been annexed like
mm-hmm.
a couple years before the bombs dropped. And that's why people are like sort of afraid of Canadians a little bit, is because they're like, oh well, the Canadians hate Americans because we fucked them to like
Yeah,
steal their resources, and now here we are in 2026, and literally the idea of Canada being the 51st state is now a thing that people are saying, which is insane. Like Black Isle wrote that shit like what 30 years ago now, and
yeah.
somewhere in like the in the lizard brain of dipshits they were like, we should do that. We should get that.
It's rough out there for sure.
That's so funny when the because they do at the end of every episode the like slow pan or whatever through a scene or something relevant
Yeah.
to the episode, and they pan out and it's the big 5-1 and it's like welcome to Canada. I was like, oh
Hmm.
Jesus Christ. I was like, oh my god. But I love that character. I think she's outstanding. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with Chet. I think he's probably
I'm
dead.
very worried about Chet. I think the most interesting thing that he finds himself in now, because I do really like Chet,
He's okay.
um, is he's kind of realizing he's putting pieces together. The last we see of him in this season, where him and Norm in season one go into Vault 32 and they see like all the dead bodies and they see like the graffiti on the wall, "Death to Management." And
Right.
then the people around him literally start chanting "Death to Management," and he's like, "Wait a
He's
second,
like, uh oh,
wait,
what happened? I'm glad all those fuckers from was it 31, the management vault. I'm glad they're all dead. When when
little
when Big Buff
convenient."
douchebag was like, no, not you, you can't. And then the rad roaches got into the room. I was like, get fucked, loser.
Yeah, man, rad roaches are vicious
They're scary.
in this. They need to, whenever the next Fallout game does come out, they need to beef up the rad roaches a little bit. We've
No,
learned that they are not level 1 enemies
no,
anymore.
I'd be okay with
They've
them not
been
doing that.
they've been putting in work.
We watched them kill Butch's mom.
I saved Butch's mom. How dare
Uh,
you?
well, a real hero over here.
I wanted my Tunnel Snakes jacket.
I guess so. I guess so. And I think the death like a lot of the effects look great, but I think the death claws look outstanding. I think they're so. And Ella Purnell said this in a interview before the season came out, and I thought she was crazy. I agree though. I think they're kind of cute.
Yeah, they're little cuties.
I think they're kind of cute.
I think Deathclaw's got the official cutie label when we got from like their Fallout 3 designs to their Fallout 4 designs. Once we got the got them a little bit bulkier. Ironically enough, they became more cuddly, I think.
Yeah. I would 100% own a Deathclaw plush if one were to exist.
There has to be.
Someone find it. Someone find it for me. Send it to me. What a great show. Genuinely. I'm really excited for it. I'm definitely more excited for season 3 than I was for season 2. Not that I was like,
Yeah.
Low on season 1, but I think this one sets up some really exciting stuff. The ghoul going to Colorado, so we're going to get to see a new location. I think that's really exciting. We're definitely seeing this war between the NCR and Caesar's Legion, which I do. If I had another complaint, it would be I do sort of wish that they had set that up a little bit more in season 2. But it's fine. It is what it is. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be cool. Mr. House is not done. I don't know what he's gonna be doing, but he's got the power thing now, so he's doing something.
I think I kind of see now why they decided to put it in the backdrop of New Vegas this season, because other than like getting your characters like Mr. House in there, or reestablishing NCR Legion, which season 1 didn't have really. A lot of this season was kind of just setup, we reestablish what's going on with the NCR, and we see that the Brotherhood's struggling and kind of falling apart, whatever. And then we do, obviously the big emotional payoff is Lucy and her dad, which was great, by the way, I think.
It was. I do have a lot of questions about where that's going to go going forward.
I think we're not going to be done with Hank McLean.
No,
I think he's still going to be around.
I think it would have been better for Lucy to. This is my prediction. Would have been better for her to just kill him now.
I don't think she has that in her yet.
She doesn't. She don't.
But yeah, I think like they're like, well, what really happens this season? A lot of setup for stuff to come, and then a payoff for Lucy at least. So maybe we can kind of distract people from not moving the dial that much by like, look, there's Vegas. Look, there's Prim in the background. And you know what? I'm fine with it. It's I'm not saying I'm fine with it in the sense that like you distracted me with the fan service, but I see why you did it, so that we could have fun with fan service while we slowly got to other places.
Yeah, I will say, locationally, they basically went through like pretty much all the big hitters of New Vegas, and I was for that because I think that they actually had, this might be weird to say, a lot of restraint to not throw in like all of these fucking characters, to not be like, here's Marcus from Jacobstown, here's one of the followers from New Vegas, here's, to even to be like, we're going to go to the like Caesar's Legion camp. Caesar's dead.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin isn't playing a character that we know from the show. We're not going to see what is his name? Vulpes, that fucker who's probably dead, or Leggett Lanius. Like they're both, who knows, but they're not in the show. A lot of restraint as far as like actual characters go, but you still get the cool like fan service of like, oh, but they're standing in the Lucky 38. Like I've been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like that's the good balance.
So much of the design of New Vegas, the game, and the locations you go to, like these places are characters in a way. And so simply being there and seeing those in live action is the fan service. So
absolutely. Yeah. And I'd rather get that than the characters, 100%.
And we got Fisto.
We did get Fisto. That's true. That is a character.
Which means, you know what? They spent so much time being like, we can't say what the courier did or didn't do. We can't say what the canon ending is, blah, 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 blah. But we know he did that quest.
We know he did at least one quest, which implies...
We know he did the get the sex bot quest.
Which does mean he did kill like 3 old ladies. I'm just saying.
That's true. Well, assuming he had Wild Wasteland.
He had to have. Look at how wild this wasteland is.
It's pretty wild.
People eating fucking flea soup and shit. Anyway, guys, if you liked the show, or you didn't like the show, or you don't like us, leave a comment down below on
Aw, don't
YouTube
leave
or
that
Spotify.
comment.
You can leave whatever comment you want, and I'll accept it and I'll reply to it. But if it's rude, I will also reply in a rude way. So be prepared for that. You can leave your comment on YouTube or Spotify. Those are the places we are, and we'd like to see you in both of those places if we could. We'll settle for one, but we'd love to see you in both. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
You could follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler 8-bit.
And until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip.